I mean, if we've got any banking analysts listen to this, can you do your job? Like, rather than blowing smoke up the CEO, can you say, hey, listen, can you tell me what is the size of your unmarked treasury portfolio? What is the loss of it? What are you doing? What, have you shifted the duration? Can you just talk to the street about it? No one asks. I got 15 years of this blessed thing we call speculation because my first calendar year, I made 50%. I'm not gloating. What I'm meaning by that is the failure rate in hedge funds is like a restaurant. Most restaurants fail. Yeah. And the return to the survivor is really high. And I got, heavens, there was times when I didn't think I was going to make it, but I was absurdly long gold. And again, if you're like a wannabe new hedge fund manager, like I got to tell you, it's like, you ain't going to make it in your first year if you're not making money, and you ain't going to make it if you're like making 6 or 7% and trying to tell people your Sharpe ratio is really good. You're going to make it if you find like, and you concentrate and you take leverage in a rising asset class and it's volatile and you chase the dragon. I mean, I've been invested for like 35 years and I'm saying to you, China going from the size of Turkey to Europe and the avalanche of money and liquidity is why every asset price in America is high. And I think we're now at I call it the Obayashi Maru moment, if you remember from Star Trek, when it's a no-win. It's a no-win scenario. There's just no win because we got 5.5% rates in the US. We got a currency which is rising, and the rest of the world's like, I'm out of here. I'm checking out. And so the flow that is coming more and more into the US. Now the Fed's sitting there and it's listening to, it's like the Bank of England in 1927 when they were like overvalued on the gold standard. Like, we're at 4. And I'm like, we're going to be overthrown by the communists unless we can bring interest rates down. And so he went to the Fed and he said, the only way we can bring rates down is if you cut. Remember Benjamin Strong, the coupe de whiskey, and he takes a cut. And what happened? The US stock market like went to the moon. It bred instability. So the big drama this year is the Koreans, the Japanese, and I think the Chinese are saying, you actually got to subjugate the domestic strength of the US economy, and you got to bail us out. Now, if the Fed, that's a no-win. If the Fed does that, like buy 10,000 call strikes on the S&P. What China does is it's very good at creating GDP, but not wealth. So look at the stock market, right? Yeah. The stock market's flat for 25 years, and the currency is weakening. And that's the problem. And so what happens is with their savings model, all of it, and again, to maintain those advantages, they have to push all of their capital into risk-free US treasuries, okay? And unfortunately, only until the last 2-3 years, the US, we were fiscally conservative. We should have been running huge deficits. But I was like, oh no, you can't do that. We should be running huge deficits. And the Chinese would have funded the rollout of the best, like fast trains, the best education, the best healthcare, the best cities, ships that don't crash into bridges and bring it all tumbling down. And instead, whenever we did something, we did a stupid tax cut. So you were saying, again, your anxiety about the Chinese and they're going to overtake us. They took the wrong bet, right? Because I was talking to someone like, but what about the Chinese? Thousands upon thousands of PhDs. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm sorry, again, forgive me, but if you just completed a PhD, oh my God, you just chose the wrong moment in history. Why? Because we got AI. We got the AI. And the PhD thing, by and large, is the left hemisphere of your brain. If you're listening to this now, the future, and if you want to be rewarded, again, you've got to be kind of like an asset capitalist, is right-hand side of the brain. All that PhD thing has been made redundant.